The only people that called me Randy growing up was my professors in veterinary school, my brothers.
Oh, good. So I'm in our risky ground here.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's a pleasure to be here. I come from a totally different perspective. I'm the only one on this panel that doesn't have extra initials behind their name, and I'm saddled between the two white meats. We had chicken, and I think we'll have pork. But we're going to talk about ultimately the great eating, best eating experience at the end of the day, as we all consider producing a product that's healthy and wholesome. So just a little bit about where I'm coming from, and it's about the people, and we can't forget about the people. So in the last few weeks of my life and the next few weeks, we'll be preg checking cows. There's 4 or 5 veterinarians in our practice, and we're probably preg checking 11 to 1,200 cows a person per week. I love this time of year. It's great. Today was kind of cold, but I love it because I get to enjoy the time with people. So just a little bit about, this is where we practice in southwest Kansas. The most things that grow there is grass. What can consume that? Not chickens and not pigs, but cows. They turn cellulose into meat. But let's talk a little bit about the cow-calf sector. Only 1.5% of the antibiotics that are used in beef cattle production is in the cow-calf sector. But it's those management practices that my people do today that will prepare them for later in life. And it's one of my biggest challenges is every day we talk about how can we help that calf succeed for the next person or the next geographic location, so that at the end of the day they can be consumed by the consumer that will enjoy them. We can control the use of antibiotics, but it's the management practices that we do. Well, let's talk a little bit about why it's so challenging. There's 750,000 cow-calf producers today in the United States. Average age is my age, 58 years old. Think about that. There's a lot of producers that will be going out of business, retiring soon. 80% of them are family owned. 40 is the average cow herd in the United States. 40 head of cows. So that means it's challenging. There's many people that are in beef production today, but it's a very large industry, and we have to work at it. So why is it hard? Why is it challenging? There's many environments. This environment's in Louisiana, 50 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. This one is near Carlsbad, New Mexico. That has 1 cow per 100 acres, or a section. The first one is 1 per 1. This was in Van Horn, Texas. Here we go. This is a ranch that borders Mexico in Arizona. This is a ranch in Illinois. But you know what? They all have a person that's connected with them. The challenge that we have today, that there are so many people that are raising beef cows for so many different reasons. Some people have them for economic reasons. And you think, well, duh, they all do. No, some of them have them for yard art. But they still go to town at the end of the day, either as a 400-pound calf or as a yearling. So we see a gentleman there from Louisiana. He's a veterinarian. The next one from Carlsbad, New Mexico. They all have different goals, different reasons for producing beef. But at the end of the day, I need to help them, each one of them, understand that we need to prepare that calf for a better life once they leave that ranch. So everything, I like this slide. I'm here working with some interns at a ranch and a young veterinarian. What I do today is more about relationships with people. The choices and helping them make the right choices so that when calves leave their ranch, they'll succeed. Every one of these ranches need a veterinary patient-client relationship. This was brought to light particularly with the veterinary feed directive in 2017. And I think that with that veterinary feed directive, we've become more involved with some of those places that think they can do it without veterinary services. And sometimes the reason they do without veterinary services is it's our fault. It's our fault as veterinarians because we haven't come with them with value-added services. That will get me started on the veterinary schools and their help needing us to produce more food animal veterinarians. And I think that's part of the equation, and we can use your help as you in part of that dialogue. So what are those management practices that decrease antibiotic usage? It's health management. It's the vaccination. There's many vaccinations out there, vaccine tools that can be used, but it's when they're used and the particular product. You know, 18 months ago we had a fire that burned quite a bit of our county, and we learned what open range was like. And the fact there was no biosecurity. In fact, we had some calves that became BVD infected that were PI because of open range. And I used to sleep through veterinary school, this class, when they talked about biosecurity, but today it became real. We need to learn to talk about that with our producers. Nutritional management, it's already been mentioned. We need to talk about what nutrition, how that affects production. Colostrum management, the dairy industry beats us hands down. They know that every one of those calves have to have colostrum. We leave it to chance in the beef cattle industry. What if a calf was born today in Clark County, Kansas, and it was 4 degrees? Do you think that calf got up and nursed colostrum? If it had a good mother. Perinatal nutrition. We talk about that in humans. Why wouldn't it affect us as beef cattle producers? Post-weaning management. Sometimes these calves are weaned on the truck. Why don't we work towards weaning those calves and then selling them? Don't you think they could succeed better when we do that? These are low-hanging fruit, tools that we can use every day. But there's 2 events that I'd like to talk about that are critical to narrow this discussion down. Birth. Think about this. If that calf is born unassisted, he gets up and nurses immediately and receives colostrum, he's going to be a lot more likely to succeed. We know that those calves that receive adequate quality of colostrum are 3 times less likely to get sick or need treatment in their lifetime. Temperament's important. There's been various studies and even recently in publications that shows that temperament at birth of the mother affects colostral intake. Colostral immunity is so important. It's management. And then notice the next word I use. It's the choices that you and I make that will make a difference, that will decrease antibiotic usage. The next critical event that we can plan towards in that calf's life is weaning. What about if we use more fence line weaning? What if we decrease the stress of that calf's life at that moment? It's a social thing. When those calves are taken off the cow, it's a stress of their nutritional status. It's also stress of their immune system. Low stress handling, nutritional management. So many times, think about a calf sold at Dodge City Sale Barn. I want to get my calf and I want to get it up there early. It's the sale's on Wednesday. We take it up there on Monday. It goes home on Thursday. And how much food has that eaten? All of its rumen microorganisms have died. So is that calf going to need antibiotics? Probably. It's their vaccination experience. Here again, there are management tools out there today that are available. It's the choices that we as people are making that will influence profitability. So I like this slide because it's the producer's in control of how much antibiotics are used. We can do it through genetics. Did you know that temperament is 0.46 or 0.36% heritable? That's a highly heritable trait. And EPD, each breed association today have EPDs that we can determine docility, nutritional management, health management. These all are tools that are available today and that we talk about with our producers to reduce antibiotics. So our goal is simple. We want to make every day a good day in the life of a calf. So thank you.